Hello, my friends. Welcome into another episode of the Subscription Web Design Podcast. Hey, in this one, I have something special for you. I want to play for you an in-depth look at my subscription web design model, my 18-month lease-to-own model. And I went in-depth on that in a training that I did in Josh Hall's private community. And I want to sort of bring out one piece of that training that goes in-depth into my model so you can see exactly how it works. And I have two more things that I want to give you as well. So if you go to subscriptionwebdesign.com/5, FIVE, you will be able to see the other 4 models as well as some other training around that. Okay. So go check out that training. Okay. And it will be a training video, very helpful for you to give you the rest of what I'm going to talk about in this podcast episode. But this podcast is going to give you a little bit of a teaser. And then linked in the description, you're going to find a link to a blog post that I wrote on my agency website, northmaxservices.com, that walks all through the terms and the nitty gritty of like what is actually involved in that, like what individual pieces you get with a managed website, what the timelines look like for the projects, the expectations, and all of that. Okay, so I want to give all of that to you here in this episode, beginning with just a look at the actual model itself. And then you can go grab the additional resources as well from the links in the description. I hope you enjoy this. I hope it is helpful for you. And we'll catch you guys next time. God bless. So we're going to start out with my lease to own model. All right. Now, this is, again, the one I'm partial to because I invented it and it took me 7 years to get it right. So I am a little partial to it. But I do hope that you could see how it could start working for you. And again, I'm biased. It is my favorite of the models we're going to talk about. So I wanted to go in a little bit more detail on this one. I hope that's okay. And we'll see if you like it. So the first step, the first thing you want to do is decide on a minimum amount that you want to make per project, including maintenance. Okay. This is important, including maintenance, because the way you're going to do this is the deal, right? The deal is that you're going to build and maintain a website over a certain period of time. Okay. So decide what you want to make on a website, including maintenance. Then you're going to divide that number by a desired cycle length. Okay. So I'm going to use really low numbers with simple math because I'm really not good at math. Okay. So let's say that for building a website and maintaining it for 18 months, you want to make $1,800. Now, there's no magic number here. I know people who do 12 months. I know people who do 18 months. I'm sure you could choose 24 or whatever. Again, we're just keeping it simple. My cycle lengths, as I define them, are 18 months because a year feels too small and too finite to me. 18 months feels a little bit more nebulous. And so I think that helps with the subscription mindset. More on that in just a minute. So let's say $1,800 times or divided by 18 months, boom, you would have to charge $100 a month to make that work. Okay, let's say that you wanted to make $3,600 over that same time period. Well, that would be $200 a month. And now, if you're like me, 2015 Steve would have freaked out at the possibility of charging $3,500 or $3,600 for a website. But I just told you how you could make $3,600 for a website by just charging $200 a month. And you say, well, that's different, right? Because it's not all upfront. It is different. And that's the point. It's different because it will end up being stable for you. Okay. The other piece to this is you have to choose what happens at the end of a cycle. Are you going to ask them to make a decision to stick with you? Or are you going to assume that they stick around? Okay. Hugely, hugely important. All right. Now I want to walk you through the step-by-step specifics of my model, because I do think that it's probably one of the more complex ones in the list. But again, it's the one that's worked for me. So it's the one I feel the most obligated to teach very thoroughly. Okay. So first is a small setup fee kicks off the project. Now, this wasn't always the case. I didn't always charge setup fees. I have started charging setup fees today as the team scaled, because frankly, it just really helps me to be able to recover some of the cost, frankly, of paying for the team on the front end. So most of the setup fee, ends up going to pay the team to get things taken care of for the project. And then I end up making the recurring income on the back end. And it really works out great. Okay. Secondly, the client signs a contract and the project kicks off after the first monthly payment comes in. Boy, did I make that mistake one time. I built almost an entire whole website 1 month before I ever got the first payment, and it took a little while to get paid. So I will never do that again. Website starts when the first payment comes in. Okay. Number three, the build progresses and usually takes anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks, depending on your process. Again, that's just for us. Maybe for you right now, it's 2 weeks, maybe it's 12. We're in a 4 to 8 week delivery range right now. So that's how that happens. And this is huge. At the end of that period of time, when we're done actually building and designing the site, the client signs what I call a build sign off form, signifying both to her and to me that she is happy with the design. Okay. After that, she's happy with the design, because you don't want to be 6 months from now putting 8 hours a month into a website. And again, that's the mistake I made with a buddy of mine, and I won't make it again. Okay. So after that point, after the build sign off form is signed, we move them into care phase. And this is where we support the client for a minimum of 18 months. And then at 18 months, they have the option to leave or continue. Now, importantly, though, we don't tell them that they have the option to leave or continue. And I don't mean that in a nefarious way. That is spelled out in the contract clearly and in our conversations. What I mean is, we don't make some event out of it. We're not sending an email, hey, your 18 months is up. Do you want to keep going or not? We could do that, but it kind of violates the subscription mindset, right? Part of the subscription mindset is this idea of assumed continuity. Okay. Assumed continuity, assuming that a client is going to be there for life. Okay. Now, in our case, what we do then is the idea is, if they stay for 36 months, we'll offer a redesign of their website. And then the project sort of starts over again, minus the setup fee. We only charge that the first time. Now, think about the implications of this, though. Remember, we just talked about making $3,600 on a website by charging a client $200 a month. You're not redesigning their website until 36 months, which means by that point, they will have paid you $7,200. Now, how many of you in the building are charging or have the mindset to charge $7,200 for a website up front right now, or even 50-50? Probably few of you. And I don't mean that as a slight. I mean, I'm the same way. I would have a hard time charging that much at one time, or even in those increments. But when it's spread over a 36-month time period, now that's a lot more interesting. And the numbers are really cool. So think about the ability just for $200 a month to be able to make $7,200 for building and managing a website. It's pretty cool. And then, of course, number 8, as the client's needs change or as their business grows, we actually offer additional services. We do reputation management using Review Lead, like Eric talks about. We've got some clients absolutely loving that. We do email marketing. We do some blogging work. And we don't really advertise this hardcore, at least not right now, but it is something that with certain clients, as we go deeper and they want to do more to grow, we'll offer it to them. So that's sort of a look at my particular model. So when I say subscription web design, this slide that you're looking at, this is what I mean. This is what I'm really interested in teaching folks how to do. But I realize that it may not be for everyone. So if this particular model isn't right for you, then maybe one of these next 4, which we'll go through a little bit more quickly, will appeal to you.